Federal judge dismisses a challenge to a Wyoming hemp ban. That's right. A federal judge in Wyoming last week dismissed the lawsuit challenging the state's ban on intoxicating hemp products. WyoFile reports that Judge Kelly Rankin dismissed the lawsuit with prejudice, meaning it cannot be brought back to the court. However, the plaintiffs are appealing the ruling to the 10th Circuit Court. In the ruling, Rankin accepted the state's motion to dismiss for many of the same reasons he dismissed the plaintiff's request for a temporary injunction in that ruling, and Rankin said, in quotes, "The public interest is best served by denying the injunction." Rankin also ruled the only proper defendant in the case were the Wyoming Attorney General and the Wyoming Department of Agriculture Director, and the plaintiffs could not name the governor or the state. The plaintiffs, a group of hemp businesses, had already filed an appeal in the 10th Circuit Court challenging Rankin's denial of the injunction, and the ban took effect in July. Under the law, it's illegal to produce, possess, or sell hemp or hemp products containing more than 0.3 THC on a dry weight basis when using post-decarboxylation or similarly reliable testing methods to add, alter, insert, or otherwise include any scientific substance into hemp or hemp products produced, processed, or sold, you guys. Well. It seems like Wyoming is trying to make sure that they have a pretty well cleaned up hemp market. And it doesn't sound like a lot of these producers are wanting to play along, but I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this.
I mean, I think that this is important. I mean, protecting the consumer is important. I'm sorry that the manufacturers don't want to play along, but maybe if you're not willing to make something that's safe for human consumption, you shouldn't make a consumable packaged good.
Fair enough, Jenny. What do you think about this, Dale?
Well, I don't think it's going to go very far because the state has the power to do this. Federal government passed the hemp bill, which allowed for 0.3, but it didn't include exclusive jurisdiction over all of this in the states. It allows the states to have their own rights to do this. And the state has health, safety, and welfare power, the traditional police powers, and some of these hemp-derived THC molecules that end up out there in the market are they're just a way to find a crack in the system to make money, as opposed to finding things that are safe, well tested. And so I don't think it's going to go very far. And quite frankly, these products out on the market have not been tested to be safe. It gets you a little high because it's a THC, but it's a Delta 8 or it's a Delta 10 or it's one of these others that have not been well tested. And I just think they're pissing up a rope here trying to continue with this and bring the governor in. Because he didn't, why is the governor involved in this? Maybe the attorney general or something, but it's trying to bring everybody in the kitchen sink into these. Doesn't go, it pisses the judge off is what it does. And you find out they throw you out of court and tell you you're done, the door's closed, and we're locking it on you. Fuck out of here.
All right.
Fair enough. Yarrow and Sohum, either you two have any thoughts on this?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, we know the politics of Wyoming just based off of the status of their medical and adult use laws, which are non-existent. So, I mean, I hope this just pushes people to realize, like, we don't need to spend as much time trying to create a prolific, alternative THC, hemp-derived THC market, and actually push for creating change at a state level to allow for medical and adult use cannabis there. But I'm not terribly optimistic about when that might happen in Wyoming.
I got some challenges with this. The first of which is because the Farm Bill has left hemp so underregulated, and because it does not speak to hemp-derived intoxicating cannabinoids, my concern with the state just banning is that other states might follow suit because it's a simpler approach for those states than to actually come up with coherent policy. And it's interesting to me because depending upon where your values and your agenda lies, there are those times when we like states to be more restrictive than the federal government, and then there are those times when we like states to be less restrictive than the federal government. For this one, I don't see the win because I don't. Instead of saying here's reasonable guidelines to protect consumers to make intoxicating cannabinoids age restricted, we're just going to ban the whole thing. I can understand the thinking behind why that was done, but I don't think it's actually, from a public policy perspective, actually going to be very effective. And I think with the direct-to-consumer model for a lot of hemp cannabinoid companies, there's likely going to be a lot of disregard for this rule anyway. So I don't think it solves much.
I totally agree. That I don't think it solves a lot much, especially with direct-to-consumer. What's that, Dale?
The purpose is to assuage these prohibitionist, anxieties. And so it's not a public health issue. It's that they're just pulling the trigger to say no. And we all know what happens when you say no. You make that prohibited item precious, and then it just goes out there and increases its volume.